My name's McDonald, and I guess I'm the baby of the bunch. Let me kind of settle my nerves down a little bit. Usually I'm, talking in front of some new police recruits or giving a lecture about intervention. I'm the baby of the bunch. I grew up out in Owens. Dickie would love you. To me, that's God country out there, Owens community. Let me give you my recollection of Rusty Garner here as growing up. Rusty knew me and my brother Ronald over there before we were born. Get that? Mom was pregnant with us. Mom and Dad bought the ranch out there. Ronnie and I were born. As we go up through the years, we're enjoying the life out there on the ranch and everything. And Joanne wanted me to tell this little story about the Future Farmers of America. Rusty came along with you guys, and you won the contest over there. I remember you talked about Rusty as a historian. I'll get in that a little bit later on here, and I won't be too long with this. But Rusty, you guys came out with the, I guess, probably the first Future Farmers of America little band and quartet. Years later, I come up with the same thing. I'm probably the second person ever to have the Future Farmers of America band and quartet in DeSoto County history. There was a lot of pictures of that. Ronnie was the reporter of the Future Farmers of America and took a lot of pictures, made a nice album, and unfortunately over the years, it's dissipated. There's no telling where parts of it's at. So you know what happened later on down the road. Now, Rusty and Dickie and all of us were all friends and family out there, and Rusty's going through his band years, and I remember as a child, Rusty hired me out there to work in the Grove, myself and some of the other teenagers. And it was pretty good. And if you remember Rusty, one of the things he'd always say is like, all right, boys, we got to get it done. All right, boys. I remember that. And every one of you can probably relate to Rusty saying something like that. But it was good. He would ride herd over us as we're working in the groves, holding a lot of orange trees, pulling vines out, and things like that. So as the years go on, Rusty hooks up with me because I've been playing music ever since Future Farmers of America. So we hook up and we play music together. And a lot of good stories I could tell right there. We played music all over the place. I'm probably one of the last musicians that played music with him. Matter of fact, Joanne, you did a wonderful job with that slideshow. One of the gentlemen that's in there was in that band with Rusty and us. He was able to pull together some very fine musicians, and I was really fortunate to be with him there. One time, as I'm at the ranch, Rusty calls me up and says, I've got some musicians at the house. Would you come on down? Now, I can't tell a lot of funny stories here. I'm just saying some of the recollections as growing up and as a younger man. So we go down to Rusty's house there, where he's living, right there in Owens. It's no longer there anymore, and I really miss that being there. And Rusty put a little jam session together, and it happened to be with an older gentleman, Aubrey Stokes, from around Arcadia that I played music with for years. And that was really wonderful. I had a video camera, and I videotaped that. And it wasn't but about 3 days later that Mr. Stokes passed away from that. Very fine musician. And I'm really fortunate to have that video because I have my wonderful friends there, Aubrey Stokes and Rusty Garner, on that video to be able to look back and see. And he was a fine musician. He would tell us all kinds of stories and things, and we would go, like Charlie and him and I would go to the Clock restaurant, and I'd have to say, guys, I got to go. Y'all see y'all later. And they'd close the clock down if they could. You never could close it down. It was 24/7. They were there. Only really good one funny story I could tell about Rusty on some of the horses that he had. He had a mare there, and I remember my brother riding that mare. Rusty let him borrow it, rode it to the ranch, and I guess Ronnie thought he was something, but the mare just had a little bit of a problem. So I got on the mare, gave me a problem. Okay, you need to ride this back down to Rusty and let him have this horse, do a little more training on it. Well, that day Ronnie had his green Western hat on, felt hat, brand new, looked really nice. He rode the mare after I got on it and had a few issues. He rode the horse on back. He come back that afternoon, that hat was all dirtied up and been a lot shaved. Ronnie, what happened? That damn horse. Yeah, that thing took off on me and it finally stopped and I didn't. He said, last thing I saw, them 2 ears, I went over his head. Dude, I just plowed up the field. That was pretty funny. But talk about a historian too, Rusty. Folks, I got to tell you just a little bit of a story here, though, because Rusty knew us before we were born. was always wonderful to have talk sessions with Rusty. At the age of 4.5, my brother and I lost our father. And Rusty used to talk about how Dad would put him in the airplane, and if you see the video here, that airplane that a lot of the soldiers stand in front of is Dad's airplane. And he'd put Rusty in that, and they would take off flying. He said, oh man, he said, your dad fly that river? And didn't know what was going to happen. If y'all remember the old Nocatee Bridge, it was one of the big old crane over type bridges. It was flat, but it had a big crane over type cage to it. He said, your dad comes zipping along that river. Next thing you know, we get to that bridge, he said, oh my God, we're going to make it or not. He'd put that airplane up, bring it right back down. Him and a lot of other guys out there in Owens, he took them flying. And some of them got the bug, and so did Rusty. So Rusty got up and started taking some flying lessons as well. But it was so interesting. As a young man, I don't remember my father's voice. I don't remember. But Rusty would sit there and tell me wonderful stories about my dad and how he took some of you guys, I guess, from the Future Farmers of America, got you down to Miami. He said Dad took him up on one of the, what was that plane, Ronnie? The Dad used to fly.
DC-7.
DC-7 down there, you know. And I remember Rusty saying, you know, he had one guy up there that he was checking out because Dad was a check pilot. And so the guy's coming in for a landing, and Rusty said, my dad told him, he said, go back and get one of those pillows. What? He said, go get one of the pillows. So Rusty went back to the airplane, came up with the pillow, and Dad took that pillow and stuck it all up in the windshield of that airplane. Rusty like, oh my God, how's this man going to land this airplane? You can't even see out the window. Unbeknownst to Rusty, he was a check ride for the gentleman to be able to land that airplane there on instrument landing. So it was pretty cool. But like I say, I'm kind of the baby of the bunch. We're losing a lot of our older folks. Everybody here, you remember, you love Rusty. Rusty's right here, and you're never going to forget him. I never will. Wonderful man. I played music with him a lot, did a lot with him, not as much as some of you guys, but it's so good to see everybody here for Rusty. Joanne, you did a wonderful job. And folks, I thank you so much. That the man, I loved him, and I'll never forget him. Thank you guys.